to week 9. We've got some new core exercises this week, so they're all a little bit different. We've kind of stepped it up a little bit, so when we get onto those, I will show you the ways to modify those and adapt them if you need to. Safety, working around about a level effort 4 to 6. You shouldn't feel any pain, so if you do, just either reduce your range of movement, do it as a body weight only exercise, or just leave that one out. And stop if you're feeling ill. Quick reminder on equipment, so you need to have your chair close to hand. That's partly for support, but we're going to use it for some of the exercises because it's a good way of doing those exercises. And then if you've got bands, weights or cans, or just using body weight. So we'll start with our mobilisation and warm up. So first of all, just make sure you've got your feet, knees, hips in line, so you're standing with your feet hip width apart. Stand up as tall as you can, so you're stretching up towards the ceiling. Just pull the tummy in a little bit, arms down by your sides. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, turn your head to the right. Breathe back in to the middle. Breathe out to the left. And back into the middle. Again, out to the right. Back to the middle. Last one to the left. And back to the middle. And then just let your chin drop onto your chest. Look straight ahead and then just tip your head back so you're looking up to the ceiling. And back to the centre. So roll the shoulders forwards. And change direction. We're looking for as big a range of movement as you can. And then on this last one, try and slide your shoulder blades down your back as if they're coming into the back pockets of your trousers. So that should give you a nice long neck. So bring the arms forwards, and we're going to do some opposite direction arm circles. You won't be aware that it's opposite direction until we go full range. So we're just going to start circling in front of you. And then you can make those circles bigger and bigger. And if you want to, you can come to the point where you're actually going full range of movement, at which point you can see the arms are going in an opposite direction. And then changing direction. And gradually making those circles smaller again. Now keep both arms forwards, but turn the palms to face each other. Make sure your shoulders are still low. So on this one, we're going to pull back, bow and arrow. Any problems with your spine or your hips, let your hips go with your shoulders. If you don't have any issues, you can keep the hips facing forwards. So problems would include things like osteoporosis, where we just don't want to put extra pressure on those bones. As you pull back, try and open out the chest. Last one on each side. And then just let the arms come down to your sides, just release them off. So the next one we're going to do stretching out the side. So again, bring your right arm out. Turn the palm to face the ceiling and then just tilt your head to the side. Take a breath in. Breathe out, lift the arm up towards the ceiling, stretch up and then bring it into the ear. And down. Again, palm out. Turn it over, tilt the head away. Breath in. Breathe out, stretch up to the ceiling, and then bring the arm into the ear. Do one more on each side. Stretching up, bring it into the ear. And last one. And back down. Good work. Okay, so we're going to open out the hip area now. So normally we've done that with a half moon or a quarter moon. You can do that again, but a different option is known as opening the gate, and you might want to just make sure you've got something to support yourself on should you need it. So bring one knee up and then open the gate, close it, and back down. So one knee up, open the gate, close, and back down. So I was working with a lady last week and she said she needed the support, but actually she didn't, but the fact it was there meant that she was less worried, so her balance was better, which I thought was quite interesting. Do one more on each side. Good work. Okay, and then we'll just tread grapes, loosening up through the feet and the ankles. Okay, so we'll come into the warm-up. Let's get the chair out of the way again. So we'll just start with marching. Again, just start off fairly low, give yourself a chance to warm up, get the heart rate going. Pick it up as and when you're ready. And we'll come into swing and sway. So the higher you take the arms, the more the heart rate will work, and the more you bend the knees, the harder it will be. So just adapt according to your own circumstances. And back to marching. And then into spotty dogs. I'll turn side on so you can see. Tap one foot back, opposite arm forwards. And back to marching. So we're going to come into some heel kicks, and we're going to let the arms, heel kicks is where it comes up to your bottom. So taking a slightly wider stance and kicking up, we're just stretching out the front of the thighs. And back to marching. So I'm letting my elbows come a bit further back, hands coming up a bit higher, knees coming up a bit higher. And now we're coming into heel digs. So we're pushing the heel forward, hands following the feet. And as you come back, just let those elbows go back. So again, you're opening out across the chest. And back to marching. And then the half jacks. So just warming up in that sideways direction. And the last lot of marching. Okay, so if you grab a drink if you want before we start the main circuit. Our first 3 exercises are marching with fast feet, sit to stand, and then we'll be doing the triceps overhead extension. You don't have to sit for that one, but if you do, it isolates the triceps a little bit more. So I probably will, because you'll be able to see better. Okay, so we'll start. 60 seconds with a couple of fast feet opportunities. So off we go. And fast feet for those that want to. And back to marching. So we're going to have a go at 3 fast feet this time. So that's 1 up from previous weeks. And fast feet. Back to marching. And fast feet. And changing over. So coming to sit to stand or a squat if you prefer. We're looking for control on the way down. Standing up strong, and at the top just push the hips forwards a little bit so you're stretching out the hip flexors. 3, 2, 1, go. That's really good. We've got 20 seconds to go. Last 10. And changing over. So we're working the triceps next. If you have weights, hold it in one hand, so right first. Take that arm up to the ceiling, bring it down and lift. Okay, if it's a band, either stand or sit on it so that the long end of the band comes out behind you. And again, elbow up to the ceiling Always make sure you're supporting it just to keep the joint stable. We'll do 30 seconds on each arm. Okay. So if I just come a little bit closer, then you can see how that works. So from here, I'm extending up behind the head. That's good. Well done. And changing arms. Last 5 seconds. And release that. So the next cardio exercise is spotty dog. We're not doing any front raises as a strength exercise today. So if you have light weights, you can use them doing the spotty dog if you want to, or you could use it for part of it. 60 seconds, starting 3, 2, 1. Good work, nice coordination. And we're over halfway through. Last 10 seconds. And stopping there. So the next one's the deadlift. So I think most of you've got weights, so I'll show you that option first. Just have your hands down on the front of the thighs, feet hip width apart, and then sticking the bottom out, just bringing the chest towards the floor. Now it could be you can feel it working here. It could be you need to go a little bit further. And then stand back up. In case there's anyone who only has a band, you can still do it with the band. Stand on with both feet, cross it over, and stand up. The reason for crossing over is so that your hands are around the front of the thighs, and exactly the same. So just sticking the bottom out, coming down to the point you can feel it, and standing back up. So we'll get going. Okay. So make sure you keep that back straight. You should be feeling it in the glutes, so in the buttocks and in the back of the legs. Halfway through. Last 10 seconds. And changing over. So upper body, we're doing bicep curls. You know the drill for that. Keep the elbows tucked in. If you're using a weight, you can either stand with both feet on it, do both arms at the same time, or you can have 1 foot forwards, 1 foot back. You can still do both arms at the same time. You can add the knees in then too. And let's go. So just keep your wrists in line and the elbows tucked in. And we're halfway through. That's all looking really good. Well done, everybody. 10 seconds to go. And changing over. So we're skiing next. So it's a cardio exercise, it's quite a vigorous one. Just pace yourselves, starting with the arms up. And then swooshing down the hill. Halfway through. $15 to go. And changing over. So we're going to work the calves in this one. It would help if you do have something to just support yourself on, because then we can do single leg. So we're going to do it in feet parallel, heels together, and then come to single leg. So in fact, we'll start heels together. Okay, and off we go. So coming up onto the balls of the feet, hold it, and back down. As you come up, squeeze the legs together. Take the heels out, and same again. Make sure the ankles stay in line with the legs. And then bring 1 foot off, or keep the toes down slightly, but most of the weight's going through the working leg. And changing over. Just do another couple on this one. Brilliant. Okay. So we're going to do high-low plank, but against a wall. So this is instead of the press-up exercise. So it's good to take the body weight through the wrists, because it strengthens the bones in the wrists and the arms. From here, you're leaning in slightly, core is braced. Come onto the forearms, and then push back into the full plank position. Halfway through, I'll tell you to change. So at that point, come forward with the other arm, pushing up through the other arm. Okay? And off you go. Keep the tummy pulled in the whole time, so you're keeping that straight line through from the top of the head to the heels. Halfway through. And changing over. Okay, so we're coming into box step now. So we haven't done this one as a cardio exercise before, but if you remember, you're standing on the rear corners of an imaginary box. You're going to step forward, step back, and we're going to let the hands follow the legs. So you're going forward, forward, back, back, forward, forward, back, back. Okay? 3, 2, 1, off we go. Forward, forward, back, back. And again, stretch forward, pull the elbows back as you come back. Make sure you keep breathing. And change the lead leg. So step forward on the left first this time. And changing over. So we're changing into swing and sway. So again, there's some cardio element to it, but we're working the legs and the inner thighs. You can just adjust range of movement for difficulty level. Off we go. Whoops. Nearly pulled the shelf down on top of me then. Halfway through. Fifteen seconds to go. And changing over. So upper body exercise, we're doing upright rows. So this is working these trapezius muscles. Quite straightforward with the weights, but I'm coming in because I want you to watch the wrists. So elbows come out sideways, just lower than shoulder height. Wrists stay strong, so we're not doing that. With your band, stand with both feet, arms out to the side. Depending on how strong your band is, you may need to reduce the range of movement, but that's fine. Again, elbows out, keeping, that was good, Bill, well done. Keeping the wrists straight. Okay, off we go. Try and keep the shoulders relaxed. Okay, that's halfway, so have a little breather if you need. And 25 seconds to go. See if you can do a few more. Just double check the shoulders, check they're not rising up to the ears. 3 seconds to go. And changing over. Okay, so we're doing the half jack this time. And again, because we're not doing any lateral raises, if you want to hold light weights, you can. 60 seconds. Off we go. Over halfway. And change. Okay, so the next one's quite a tough one, and I strongly recommend support. It's a bit of a skill. So it's a rear lunge into a balance. Show you side on, but that means I might fall over. Sure I won't. Coming down, pushing through, bringing that knee up. So there are different ways of varying it. Obviously, less of a lunge. You can tap that foot on the floor before lifting, and obviously, if you've got that support, this means it's a bit safer. So rear lunge and coming through. So you're working the whole of that lower body in the core to try and get that balance. Off we go. So just take it very steady. It's about skill and control, not about how many you do. Try and keep the hips level, tummy pulled in. And change legs. Well done, that's good. Okay, and then last strength exercise. We're doing either shoulder press if you have weights, so feet hip width apart, hands by your shoulders, pushing up, or pull down, holding shoulder width slightly wider overhead, pulling down in front of the body, so you're pulling across the chest. Both are quite hard to sustain for 60 seconds, so I would suggest you work in sets of 6 to 10, resting between each one. Okay, off we go. I've done my 10, so I'm just going to bring the arms down for a few seconds. Carry on if you're doing all right. And go for the next set. And stopping there. Okay, so coming to our last cardio exercise, which is back to fast feet. And we'll go for those three, well, sorry, back to marching, but we'll add in 3 fast feet opportunities. Okay, off we go. And fast feet. And marching. Fast feet. And marching. And fast feet. And changing over. Okay. Well done on that, good work. So we'll come on to core exercises. See if I can tip my camera. Okay. So you want to be sitting in the front third of your chair, feet hip width apart. So you can either just assess that or bring your toes out to 45 degrees, heels out, everything will then be in line. So just resting the elbows forwards onto the knees, making sure your head's in line so you've got that spot about 6 feet in front of you that you're looking at. We're going to start with our pelvic floor, slow twitch muscles, so pulling in, holding, and then releasing. Okay, so pull in, imagine you're stopping the wind, and then coming forward, stopping the flow of urine, holding it. And relax. Remember to keep the glutes relaxed as well, so it's just through the pelvic floor. So pulling up around the back, transferring your focus to the front, pulling up, squeezing, keep breathing. And release. Okay, we're going to do a few more. I'm going to hold them for a little bit longer. So pull up, squeeze in, keep breathing. One more breath. And release. Try 2 more. So pull up, get the contraction. Okay, make sure everything else is relaxed. One more breath if you can. Relax. Final one. So pulling up around the back, moving to the front, squeezing, checking everything else is relaxed, taking deep breaths. Extra breath and relax. Great work. So we'll do some fast ones now. I'll let you do these in your own time, but we're going to go in, out, okay? So just working a different set of muscles. Okay, off you go. So squeezing in and release. Again, just make sure you keep breathing, keeping the glutes relaxed. Go for 2 more. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to do some different core exercises. For these, you might want to hold onto the sides of the chair just to help you brace yourself. So the first one is heel toe taps. Probably better if I show you from side on. So I'm holding onto the side, tummy's pulled in, and the aim is to try and maintain this upright posture. And you're going to challenge that with bringing the heels out and then the toes back in. So as the feet are off the floor, the core is challenged to keep you upright. Good. And then we'll stop that one. Okay. So next one is cycling. This one is again a little bit harder, so you may find that you want to just lean back a little bit into your chair, still hold on, but keep your core braced. So you imagine you're on a push bike. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. And relax back down. Okay, so we'll go back to a tried and trusted one, while we give the legs a chance to recover because it's quite tough on those as well. Hands over your chest, chin into your chest, and coming back so that you're just touching the back of the chair and pulling back forwards. Go for two more. Okay, I'm just going to turn around. So you want the same posture, front part of the chair, but again, if you want to adapt, lean back into the chair. And we're going to do some flutter kicks. So both feet out in front of you, holding onto the sides, and then lifting alternate legs. Now the advanced version is you don't ground the feet in between, but then you've really got to hold tight. So just work at the level that's right for you. Squeezing the core in. One more each side. Brilliant work. And come back in. Okay. So last new one, we're going to do some seated jacks. Again, you can do with or without arms for this one. So you can hold on, just bring the feet out to the side, or you can do that. And the aim is to try and keep that torso really stable. Two more. And well done. Just let the legs stretch out, give them a little bit of a shake. So we'll come up to standing. Okay, so we'll do some more of the warrior pose because I think that helps with the opening out the hips and then getting that wider mobility. So a nice wide stance, wider than hip width. Toes are pointed out to 45 degrees. Then going to lift the toes on the right foot. Rotate so that the foot is going in a straight line to the side of you. Place it back down. And then just bend in the knee slightly so it's over the foot still, but you've got a bit of a stretch in this straight leg. Push back in. Rotate back round. And again, lift up. That's good. Make sure your feet are wide enough apart such that when you bend the knee doesn't come further forward than the toes on the foot, because that will put too much pressure through the knee. One more on this side. And changing. I've got different trainers on today, so I don't know if you can hear my floor squeaking. We're going to do another couple on each side, but if you can and if you want to, we'll do it with the arms. So arms are out straight, shoulders relaxed. Toes up, turn, lean into it and just hold. Keep breathing. And push back in, bring the arms down, toes back. One on the other side, lift up, toes out. Leaning into, oh sorry, should have had the arms out, we can do that now. And bring back in. Okay. So the one bit we haven't worked is down the side of the hips. So we'll come to our pendulum. Again, holding on or having the opportunity to hold on if you want to. So standing up as tall as you can, so just really thinking about posture. You're being pulled up towards the ceiling and one leg's coming out. We're going to alternate sides. One more on each side. Good. And then bring that right foot forwards, tuck the heel into the toes on the left foot. When you've got your balance, just bring the arms out. And again, when you have your balance, if you want to, just turn slightly to the right, back into the middle, over to the left, and back to the middle. Whoops, lost it. And then change the feet over. Make sure that the heel of one foot is touching the toes of the other foot, both feet are in line. Arms out, well held, and turn to the left, back to the middle, and to the right, and back to the middle. Well done. Okay, so we'll come into some stretching. We'll do a hamstring stretch from the chair actually, because that's quite a nice one. So again, sitting on the front third of your chair, you're going to extend the right foot out, toes up towards the ceiling. Sit up as tall as you can and then just hinge from the hip, and you should, before too long, find that you've got quite a good stretch down the back of the thigh. So we're just going to hold it there. And come back up. So change sides, other leg out, toes up. Sitting up as tall as you can, because that then lengthens the muscle. And as you breathe out, slight hinge forwards, so you can feel that down the back of the thigh. and back. We'll do one more on each side, so changing sides again, toes up, sitting tall, hinging forwards. Last one. Okay, and then bring your arms down to your sides. And just rotate them around so the palms are facing forward, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And release. Again, rotate, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And release. We'll do two more. Make sure you keep breathing as you are squeezing. And then bring that right arm forwards. Cross the body, use your other hand to bring it in towards the chest, but you can push away as you are doing it to stretch out in this part of the shoulder. And changing sides. So normal stretches we just hold for 10 to 12 seconds. And then bring both arms forwards, elbows out wide. Again, sit up tall. Push the arms away from you and let your head come onto your chest. Then bring the right arm up to the ceiling. Bend at the elbow to bring the hand onto the nape of the neck. And use your other hand partly to support, but partly to increase the stretch. And changing over. And then hands onto the small of your back or fingers interlinked. Squeeze the elbows together. And then arms down by your sides. Breath in. Breathe out. Just slight bend to the side. Try and keep the weight equal on both sides of the chair. Back to the middle and over to the other side. We'll do that one more time on each side. And then back to standing. Hands on the back of the chair. You can do it without if you choose to, but a bit of added comfort factor if the hands are on the back of the chair. Hinging from the hips, so you're pushing the bottom out behind you, lifting the tailbone to the ceiling, bringing the chest towards the floor. Just hold it there. Stand back up. And then bring the shoulders up to the ears. And let them relax. Do one more. And then big breath in as you take the arms up towards the ceiling. We're coming for a full stretch. Reach up as high as you can. And then relax back down.